Hello and welcome to the channel. Thank you so much to the sponsors. I truly appreciate your generosity, your support and encouragement. And as I have said many times before, it really is for you that I'm recording these videos. Thank you so much for your support. Today we decided to talk a little bit about a Rio model after the series of book-related videos, and we have not run out of stock there yet. Let's talk about some changes to the BOREAS. And the first thing that I will say about this is that the owner of the ship really got himself a good deal with Olia rebuilding it and making it into a Rio model from the garbage that arrived here, that I would not have spent more than $10 to purchase. Now this is turning into a Rio model that one can proudly display at home. Starting with the things that have changed. And somewhere earlier on this channel, when the model arrived at the house, we did make a series of videos of what needs changing and how the ship looks and what is wrong with the model. So let's see what is the current state of the upgrading. First of all, starting with the bowsprit over here. I will not discuss the fact that it has currently tied off the anchor cables to the bowsprit. We will only point out to the horses the fact that initially the bowsprit was red, which is not a color known to have been used in the Royal Navy. We have absolutely no evidence that BOREAS had a red bowsprit that I'm aware of, unless somebody can pull out the logbook of the ship or the maintenance of the ship and tell me this. I say BS to the red color. Whoever painted didn't know what he was doing. So now it is the appropriate light yellow ochre, just as the rest of the masts are. The horses I already mentioned, the pin rail in the back. She even added a line on the bell and forecastle of the ship. That, to tell you the truth, is not something I would have noticed, but that is her attention to detail. Oh well. Then inside, the sparsely inhabited deck has changed quite dramatically. There is a barrel of water in the middle between the anchor cables. The anchor cables are properly stoppered with nippers. The nippers that hold them to the messenger are visible. The stoppers are tied off to the cable, which actually might be a little bit of an overload, because if you have stoppered the cable, you're unlikely to have the nippers on it, because why would you? But it looks cool, and it looks busy, and it looks lively. So I should close my comments on the subject and will not continue to beat that particular horse to death. Then another thing that was added is the fish davit, which is an important part of the anchoring of the vessel. I will not bother to put it because I have two left hands at the moment. But that was something that was missing. Now it is present. And we have found the fish davit on Vasa even, so why shouldn't it be on the BOREAS? One thing that actually Olia just reminded me about it, since I had forgotten, is that initially when the model arrived here in the shop, the ship had two guns on the forecastle, positioned right where the fish davit should be lying. And that obviously is incorrect. These are not gun ports, these are chocks for the fish davit. And what does the fish davit do? I assume I'm preaching to the choir, at least I hope I am, considering that most of the viewers are ship modelers building strings and sticks sort of models, but just for the record, and to show off that I know too what they're used for, they go through this ring here on the deck, they pass through the chock on the side of the vessel, they hang off to the side with block and tackle and a hook. So when the anchor is lifted, a sailor hooks the hook of the fish davit to the arm of the anchor and holds it up until it can be secured to the channel. So that is the purpose of the fish davit. We already discussed the anchor. The gun carriages have been re-rigged completely. The lines have been changed. They are now properly rigged. On the side of the vessel, you can even see that Ole has added oar ports for drawing, as sixth rate frigates, 5th and 6th rate frigates in this period still carried some sweeps that would allow them a certain element of maneuverability, although hardly any real propulsion under them. Then the skid beams, they are addition to the vessel. They would have been here. They were not permanently rigged in this period. They could be removed, but in this case they were completely missing. And it is on these skid booms that you're going to put the spare topmasts, yards, and most importantly the boats. That's where they would be. And one beautiful day they will be added to the model too. It is work in progress, as I said. The other thing on the other, the sensu stricto dead eyes on the channels belong to the hull structure. The dead eyes on the shrouds belong already to the rigging. So we are going to draw our line here with the hull. And the chain plates and the dead eyes on the hull were replaced. The old ones were rusting and were painted in some indescribable colors, blue for example, which is what the chain plate was never colored, being iron, but each to his own. Anyway, this is exactly why the owner commissioned Ole to change all this and to bring the model in agreement. Continuing aft at the topsail sheet bits behind the main topsail sheet bits, and hello to you, Master Shipwright. What would I do without your presence and with your inspirational training to which you have subjected me these many years, and me being firmly a dog and not a cat lover. But there you have it. Fate really has an evil, nasty sense of humor. It has reminded me to get back to this at a different time, but returning to the ship, besides the water cask immediately behind the topsail sheet, the capstan, new bars have been fitted to the capstan of the appropriate length. The guns, and this is something that Ole should be particularly proud of, the replacement of the carriages. We do know from the records that she carried 2 carronades, and both carronades that you see on the quarterdeck here and over there are completely scratch built by her at home. And if I say so myself, they are rather accurately and spiffy looking beasts. The right genuine crushers, as Jack Aubrey would have said. Then there is the binnacle. The model did not have a binnacle initially, but now it does. For those of you who are wondering what is on top of the binnacle, this is just a chimney. This is an air vent. It is not a light. The binnacles are an interesting feature that changes over the years, and we have some archaeological examples from the 17th and from the 18th century, so we can track these changes. Perhaps some other time, a different conversation at a different time. By now I have, at every video I promise to make a video about something else, and then of course I completely forget. And that never materializes. So, as others have gone, so will the binnacle idea go too. Furthermore, the ship had a double steering wheel when it came into the shop. That would have been incorrect. For the period of the American Revolutionary War, that would have been definitely incorrect, especially for such a small vessel. Here she should have been with a single, only removed one of the steering wheels. Now this looks as it should, persuasible. Other things that were changed to this vessel, well, obviously all of the rigging lines. The old lines were a very ill-conceived joke by somebody. Other things that were added to the ship are the scuppers. Again, scuppers are something that does show up in the archaeological records. I can think of at least 2 or 3 wrecks where the scuppers are surviving, and that is without counting the wreck that Dr. Dragomir Gerbov and myself are excavating at the moment in the Black Sea, where we did, or rather I found one pair of scuppers also. But cable blocks on the sides of the vessel, they were not there, they're present now. Oh, you know, this is reaching the stage where it has nearly nothing to do with what came into the shop. It is just about a newly fitted out vessel. Yeah, the hull may be the same, but even there, the coppering was replaced, or rather repaired, where it was beginning to fall off the hull. The paint was renewed because it was peeling and looking odd, so Ollie repainted all of this. And the lower masts, not only were they repainted, but she replaced the woodings, because the line that was used for the wooding on the old one was something that brought tears of laughter to my eyes. And by now she has learned to trust me for ships, as most of my colleagues do. No one is prophet in their own village, of course, as we know. So she had to see how others treated me and what others thought of my knowledge before she would consent to begin to believe the opinions that I expressed at home. What can I say? It's written in the Bible. It's not my contribution. Anyway, so the woodings were replaced. There were also bands that you see here that on the model as it arrived were made out of plastic. Now they're made out of metal, as they should be. And with this, I think that at this stage, she has added the lower shrouds, she has added cat harpings that were not there, but that are needed. They did serve a purpose. They're not just for decoration. And incidentally, the purpose that they served back then, they're serving also on the models. Bring the shrouds in, tighten the shrouds, allow the yards to be braced and to be mounted more easily. She added the sheaves for the sheets and for the tacks of the courses that were not there before. And the buckets. Around the guns, there are buckets now that were not there originally. She's also changed the arrangement, more accurate way, the arrangement for the shot garlands on the vessel, and replaced the shot with something that can be believed to be scale representation of the actual diameter of what the guns would have been firing. So with this, ladies and gentlemen, I think that the ship is moving along nicely. It is beginning to look like a real valuable model that you would not be ashamed to display in your home. And I'm sure we'll make another video when the rigging is complete. We will discuss in detail again. But for the moment, I wish you all the best for the rest of your day. Talk to you soon.